everyone, welcome back. This week we're going to get the mold off the car, see if we can mold some parts, see if we have to clean it up. We're going to try to do the other side, and we're going to get to some long-awaited electrical issues. So let's get to it. Okay, I'm going to attempt to take off the mold. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so not bad at all. It did tend to pull like this whole thing out, so it's kind of cracked. Well, just cracked it some more. So this all came out a little bit and got a chunk out here. So like this whole thing is kind of loose. So I may have to kind of repair it a little bit in order to kind of do my second mold. But this guy looks pretty good. I'll need to clean it up. Like I said, some of these kind of tended to stick to it, and it's got just a little bit of I don't know what that is, like if it's the PVA or whatever, but it's not quite as smooth as I was thinking. But we can clean this up and see if we can make a fiberglass part out of it. Okay, so I got the mold somewhat cleaned up here. Got the drywall compound off, got most of the modeling clay off. Just kind of want to give my first impression. So I don't know if you can kind of see by the glare there. It's not a smooth surface. So I think what happened is, so again, on the part it was nice, or on the car it was nice and smooth. But I think what I did is, so I waxed it and then I put the PVA on, and I think the PVA or the wax didn't really, anyways, I think it was that interaction. You know how like when you wash a waxed car, it kind of beads up. So I think the PVA kind of was more, anyway, kind of more proud. So then when I put on the gel coat and stuff, it didn't allow it to kind of sit nice and flat. But this should be easy enough to clean up and make smooth, so I can do that. The other thing I learned is kind of call them my sharp bends. It's like right here, this 90-degree bend. From this surface to this surface. Lots of places it didn't quite fill, meaning the fiberglass can only bend, it's like, you know, a certain radius. So I think what I would need to do next time is maybe just fill those sharp corners with resin first and then put in the fiberglass. Realize you wouldn't have kind of the structural strength of the fiberglass in the very corner, but I think that would allow it to fill. Now for me, I'm going to essentially be trimming this anyway because my part's going to come out the other direction. So I think the only thing I really need to kind of look at or fill potentially is right here, this very seam. So this surface I think made it good. It's just maybe just a little shy right here. So I'll look at that, but what I'll do is I'll trim up all the fiberglass, cut the mold where I think I need it to be, start kind of sanding and prepping. Yeah, I don't know. Tell me what you think I could do better next time. All right, so I'll also kind of give a quick review of my process here. So again, I kind of liked just having some backing and putting the drywall compound on. It's, you know, really easy, goes to shape really quick. It's easy to remove, things like that. However, for the mold, again, we did have some pieces kind of come off, and that could be just, it's not a real rigid structure. You know, so right here, this is kind of the board that was underneath. And it's just, yeah, so here, this was probably where it was a little thicker and just doesn't have enough kind of strength in and of itself. So those are kind of some drawbacks. So I like this method, but I might try a different one, see if I like a different one better. Okay, so for this side, I'm just gonna continue doing what I was doing. Just slap some more of that drywall compound on there. Got this drying it out, just sand it quickly, and then I'll be ready for that second mold. I will also work on this side. Try and get things matched up as evenly as I can. Still haven't decided if I'll try a new method or just kind of do the same thing that I've been doing. there is kind of a lot of dry time wait. So one of the other things I'm going to be doing while things are kind of drying up is working on the electrical troubleshooting. So we will do that as well. All right, as promised, we're going to do some electrical troubleshooting. So I borrowed a scope. So I really don't know what I'm doing. I kind of know a little bit, but I'm sure everybody there knows a lot more than me. So I'll do some testing, kind of try and get some baselines, things like that, and we'll see what we can find. I probably should mention that I will group all the clips together so it's not so scattered going back and forth between dry times and electrical and going back and forth. So I hope we can find something out. All right, got things turned on. Some things didn't quite wake up great. Again, it's probably been a couple months, and the 12 volt battery was completely dead. And so one thing that didn't wake up great, this is the park brake, and apparently it's just the driver side that seems to be working. I'll try it one more time. Yeah, so that closes it, but you see how this isn't red? So the passenger side isn't working. And again, I think that's just a remnant of it being completely off. It needs a 12 volt constant as well as a 12 volt switched. So what I need to do there is I need to connect a 12 volt supply just to the park brake to kind of open it, kind of break it out of its cycle, and then I think it should work. The other one that's a little concerning, I shouldn't say concerning, but that one's supposed to be just flashing green, and it's flashing red and green, which means I think there's like a thermocouple error. I'm thinking it may be just, I don't know, I might have to just cycle it off and on, see if it kind of fixes itself, or if there's a loose cable, or just kind of what. The other one seems to be working. Again, I've got two banks here, so again that one's just kind of flashing green. Anyways, that'll be the first goal. See if I can get some baseline, see if I can figure out how to use that guy. So we'll get going. All right, I got my computer hooked up to see what's going on with my BMS, and it says all the cells are not detected. So last time everything was plugged in, everything worked. So I don't know if just a connection got bumped loose or something, but we'll keep trying. Okay, so a little more discovery. It looks like it lost its the settings that I put in. So again, it doesn't know high voltage, low voltage conditions that I entered. So I just need to reset these or re-enter them, and then I think it should be okay for the BMS. So anyway, this is my pack 1, this is my pack 2. So again, this one was set, I think the default, like 2.4 or 3.4, and I've set my 3.3 and 4.2. So I just need to reset those, and hopefully it'll work. Okay, so I just reset all those, enabled the cell balancing, and locked the configuration, and there we are. So now we're blinking. So both of them are blinking. So that's good. Okay, so there are 3 contactors that close when the sequence starts up. The first one is when the car turns on. Essentially, it's a contactor that is for my DC to DC converter. The second contactor is where the problem happens with kind of I called it the boot cycle, but that's where the negative contactor closes. And then the third one is when the positive contactor closes. So basically, when I turn on the car, it's immediate, kind of not anything related to the controller. The first contactor goes, it gives, like maybe 3 seconds or so. That's while the controller is going through its boot up sequence. And so again, after that 3 seconds or whatever, the controller sends the signal to close the negative contactor. So once that's closed, I think it also does the pre-charge relay at that time as well. And again, a split second later, then it'll close the positive contactor. So the areas we're having problems is, again, that second contactor, essentially the first one that the controller closes. So I'm going to go ahead and hit start. I've got the probe going across that second contactor. When I turn on the car, though, I imagine it will give a little blip. So I might have to clear out the trigger real quick to get that second, the second contactor. So here we go. That's the one. This is interesting. Again, I was thinking that maybe it'd be a really high peak. It actually looks like it kind of goes to roughly 400 volts and then back down over a short period of time. So this is divisions of 1 millisecond. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So roughly 5 milliseconds, it gives that little jump. Okay, I've disconnected battery pack 2, so I'm going to start seeing if anything is different. I've got it going across the second contactor. We'll see here. Okay, that is interesting. So if you remember the one I did for the other battery pack, it had like this square wave or a step-up function for several milliseconds where it went up to 400 volts. This one does not. So I believe that might be what's going on. Anyway, very interesting, very exciting. This one is across the positive contactor. So again, the first click, I'll reset it just in case it triggered. The second one is where the pre-charge resistor comes on. So I'll do that one. We'll also see if we can see anything at the second, or the last trigger. It's not that one. There you go. So this is when it clicks on the pre-charge resistor, it slowly allows kind of current to flow across. So that's kind of that nice gradual curve. All right, this one will be across the first contactor for the DC to DC power supply. Okay. It's not too bad. A little overshoot, but that's kind of normal. Nice square function. I'll probably also do this across the 12 volt system to see how the 12 volt system is affected by when each of the contactors close. Okay, so I've got it set for each division to be 10 volts. So I've got it triggering just right above 10 volts. So when I turn on the car, the DC to DC converter should give this 13.7. So again, it should be kind of a square step-up function, but I'm interested to see when the contactors go, if they really spike or what's going on. So we will try. Here we go. Okay, so that's the very first one. Just trying to understand why there would be a delay. Okay, so when the DC to DC converter comes on, I'm just trying to think if these are milliseconds. So a little over 10 milliseconds after it turns on, it gives a little something. You know what I think that is? Here's what I think it is. So my 12 volt battery, so when I turn this on, that's my 12 volt battery, and I think this is when the contactor goes. Because the contactor can't go on until power from my battery goes to the relay, and the relay switches it on. So again, that's probably that time delay, and I think that's my first contactor. So now we'll try and pick up the second contactor. Okay, so now we'll look at what it looks like when the second contactor closes, and that's again the negative from the battery packs, and that's when it's given us the boot cycle. Not much. It's interesting, I really just don't see much. So again, I think what this would tell me though is that there's not a big surge or dip when that second one closes. I think a lot of people were thinking that there's just a little power sag, and that's what was causing the controller to kick off, but I really don't see anything. And yeah, there's just not a ton of, that's like one of the cleanest signals. I might want to take the reading right by the, so I've just got it kind of going to my main power banks here, my distribution blocks. So I may want to take it to the controller right where the controller is, see if there's something different there. But that's interesting. I thought there'd be a huge problem here. Okay, we're now looking for the third contactor. Again, not bad. So that's 0. We're really not. This is 5, 10. Yeah, I mean that's pretty stable. That's pretty good. Okay, I like to share things as I learn along the way. I got a variety pack of these little cutting bits here for the oscillating tool, and I found the oscillating tool works really well cutting through the fiberglass. However, the bits that, like say for wood, I thought, well, they've got longer teeth, maybe they cut better. No. So the ones that are for like the soft metals or whatever, they work a lot better. They last a lot longer. These ones wear out really quick. Okay, so got this guy sanded. It's probably hard to see. The gel coat, I tried to put a little bit of red in it, but obviously I need to do a lot more. It's very clear, so it's kind of hard to see the how smooth it is. But it's relatively smooth now. I mean, it feels very smooth. So I probably need to go ahead and trim exactly where this needs to be, and I don't think I'm going to go in and try and perfect this anymore, because I'm assuming when I get my fiberglass, put it on, everything, I'll get that off and I'll have to do the same thing there. So this isn't meant to be like a multi-use mold. I'll probably just use it once and be done. But yeah, learning as I go. Okay, it's kind of hard to see. It's kind of dark and really kind of awkward to get in there. But I kind of just tape on the bottom, and I've got just kind of some of this flexible cardboard on all the other sides. I've got clear coat on. I'll probably put another layer on. I don't know, I'm kind of not real encouraged to do a lot of sanding and things, just because the last one kind of came out rough. But I might do a little bit, and I'm just trying to think if I'll do anything different as far as PVA and wax and all that stuff. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, I realize you're really not gonna be able to see much in there, but did the wax, I skipped the PVA this time and did the gel coat and the fiberglass. So we'll wait for this one to set up, trying to get a little closer to curing temperature, and see how this one turns out. Okay, we're gonna try and take off the second mold, see how we did. All right, so it came off okay. I'll just kind of maybe highlight a couple things. So again, a big chunk kind of came off with it. Again, I think that's just kind of part of how this version works with the drywall compound. We tend to get little chunks. So the other thing I wanted to mention though is the surface finish looks a lot better without the PVA. I think that's what was causing the issue last time. I don't even want to call it an issue. That's what was going on. So I think the thing that's nice about this is I will be able to just wash it off because it's somewhat, I'll call it water soluble, or you can just kind of get it wet and it'll come off pretty easy. So I'm not worried about that sticking or anything. So I will get this washed up, cleaned up, and trimmed up. Okay, and here's the aftermath inside. So again, just kind of broke off there and a little bit right there. So again, we weren't looking for this one to stay around long term. And I'm pretty sure I could just kind of take this and pop it out. I'll probably leave it just for now. I don't know if obviously I'm going to try and make the fiberglass parts, but if for whatever reason things don't go well, I want to be able to kind of copy this shape onto the other side. All right, so I got this one kind of cleaned up. This one's already there. Essentially, these will join, I don't know if you can tell, like that. And so that's kind of essentially the mold, and then I'll want to lay fiberglass in here and essentially get my part out. So I guess at first I was thinking I'd make one piece here and one piece here and then join those pieces. I guess now what I'm wondering, kind of thinking that I should just join the mold, because I do think the part should come out of here just fine. I don't know, maybe there's a reason that's not a good idea. But the reason why I'm thinking I should do that is, again, this seam right here, I want to be able to kind of have it be like this nice seam on the other side. So have it be a nice radius. So I've still got the plug in the car. So I want to, essentially, to finish up this side, I want to kind of take the plug out, join the two molds, so it's all correct when I get everything there. However, before I kind of take that plug out, I want to make a plug on the other side that's kind of the exact same. So while it's in, that way I think I can kind of measure and best kind of see left to right that everything's the same. So I'll probably start on this side before I kind of finish up this mold. Okay, here's the passenger side. So I ended up just deciding to kind of do the same way. I do like trying out new methods. This is just stuff I had. I already did it to the other side. I kind of figured it'd just be the same. So I got the first coat up, kind of lathered it on thick. It was kind of like the inside. I also got a new tool, early Christmas present, that I'm going to use to kind of make sure I've got both sides even. Once this kind of hardens up, I'll sand it and then show you the tool. All right, so I started sanding, everything was looking pretty good. But there was just some sections where I think I put on so thick that like the outside was hard, but the inside wasn't. And I just got too impatient. So I think my advice to myself and anybody else is just do thinner coats. They'll dry faster, you can shape them and then just put on another thin coat. You'll work faster. I think I just tried to slob it all on one quick thing. And again, it was looking pretty good, but just wasn't kind of setting up. So I'll do a couple thin coats, dry it out, shape it. Okay, this is my early Christmas present. This will help me, so you just push it into whatever, and it kind of gives you that profile. So, you know, like you do that and it'll give you the profile. So my thought is, on this side, I want to push it in, lock it, kind of see how it matches the other side. So we'll see how close we are. All right, this is the profile from the driver's side. We're gonna see how it matches here to the passenger side. Okay, so as you can see, I need to build it out just a little bit more. Anyway, cool tool. Okay, here is the passenger side. Oh, it took a little while, but man, it looks really good. Used that guy, matched it up, so it should be very symmetrical with the other side. What I ended up doing here is I ended up using the heat gun. So that way I could spread it, dry it, sand it all a lot quicker. Because some of these I'd wait overnight and it was still not quite dry. Either that or I should wait till the summer to do this sort of thing. So I will get this guy ready for the mold. Here is this one all laid up. I decided to try and do it all out of one piece. So we'll see if I can't, when it's cured, if I can't just pop it off. If not, I feel like it's okay to kind of take some of the drywall with it so I can clean it out. But that's what it looks like. I tried the PVA again. Again, with the wax, it just tends to streak, leave brush marks. So I don't know, I think the inside of the mold will have that again. But yeah, I got some white colorant for the gel coat. I tried to let it set up, and I thought, just when I thought it was tacky, I thought, okay, I'll go after it with the fiberglass. But so putting the fiberglass on and doing the resin, I think I kind of saw some of the gel coat coming up, so that may be another problem. But we'll let this one set up and see what it looks like. All right, so it ended up pulling the whole plug out. I think I had everything pretty much loose. There's like one spot kind of right here where I don't know if some fiberglass got up and around, but man, the whole thing was just loose. But just right here, just kind of kept pulling, and boom, whole thing came out. So here's my mold. I need to clean it up. I have no idea what it looks like. So we'll go do that. Okay, this is the mold. So looks, I think, better than the other one. Again, because I colored the gel coat, I'm able to kind of see better the, I'll call it the surface finish. I don't know, can you see? So again, it's pretty decent. There's some areas that I thought were like dirty, and I think really what that is I started putting the fiberglass on before it was kind of setting up, before it was kind of tacky. And so when I was putting the resin on, like here, I think the resin kind of started like mixing or bleeding through. So it's like a little bit clear. At first I thought it was dirty, but it's just clear. So anyways, that's the mold. I still got to kind of do some additional cleanup, get the tape off, but I'm really liking that. I think I should be able to kind of sand it up, get it nice, and make just one part off of this that I can then go put in the car. So depending on, I might try this one first before I do the other one, and depending on how this turns out, I've still got the plug-in on the other side, so I might want to make just kind of one-piece mold of that side. We'll see. All right, that's all the time we have for this week. See you next week.